It's not this. I want to show you guys what I watched and how it got me mesmerized. Oh, this is it. I ended the broadcast. I'm sitting on the fucking couch. Okay. And then this clip comes up on my TikTok feed. Look at the beauty. Look at the release. Anyway, let's finish this and then we'll look at this. It's actually pretty funny.
Day to day, but how far have we come? And like, why are these people even acceptable? This is like it's disgusting that this is how they're behaving. And why are they attacking each other personally? They have enough to attack each other on their views. They don't need to attack each other on their eyelashes and their hair.
Here, what's depressing?
What do you mean attack each other on their views? Like the Omar Hirsch show you promoted is now over 700K followers. Hell yeah, baby. Yeah. Decorum, people. It's like, who violated the decorum? Who violated decorum first? Who violated the decorum first? In an obvious way to invoke emotional reactions out of the other person, and then got defended by the institution. Who did that? Don't you think that that's important to acknowledge?
Pressing about this is that it's not that unusual for the House these days. I mean, whether it was Kevin McCarthy's many rounds to get elected speaker, people getting in each other's faces, they almost started hitting each other during that. And so it's not just these three women. I've watched the men behave unbelievable, calling each other names. The House is in absolute chaos, and we have been electing a lot of clowns in this country, and we are getting a circus.
I'm sure that it has always been true that there are clowns in the House of Representatives.
Yeah, there's clowns in the fucking Senate too. It is wild that they're saying, you know, everybody's out here being clowns. Wait, what the fuck? Der Spiegel hit the fucking nichts gelernte 75th Jahre Bundesrepublik. Spiegel cover for Germany's 75th anniversary is quite striking. Doubt that they're talking about Israel, though. They're probably talking about the AFD. Anyway, this is once again, God, I'm all over the place. This is once again civility politics in full display. You got a motherfucker who is like a bloodthirsty war criminal talking about civility on a fucking panel, being like, yeah, there's so many clowns in Congress. It's like, I would rather have, and I don't even give a shit about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I would rather have every single congressperson use bad words, okay, get emotional in either direction, as a matter of fact, as long as they were all vociferously anti-Iraq war, okay? I don't give a shit about the civility. I don't care. I don't care at all. The reason why I don't like Donald Trump is not because he is uncivil. The reason why I don't like Donald Trump is because he's a racist piece of shit, okay? He is a right-wing reactionary monster. For these liberals, the only thing they give a fuck about is that, like, Donald Trump is so gross. I hate it. Oh, God. I like that Donald Trump is uncivil. That's why that's one aspect of him that I like. He's funny. I don't give a shit about the optics of it.
Also used to be a career path where you put your head down, you did the work, you amassed some seniority, you build a staff, you build a reputation, you build partnerships, and you pass laws, which is what you were there to do. And
this is why I always say baboon in a suit when talking about like Western officials, because they wear a suit and tie, which obviously is supposed to showcase, like, you know, some level of like elitism, some level of superiority. Like, look at us, we're so well put together, while they advocate for some of the most violent, uncivil actions of all time. David Fromm's existence is a perfect representation of that.
This is the the comic and eye-catching side of the problem with the Congresses of the past few years, which is they're remarkably unproductive. And when you think about problems that Americans have, from the cost of nursing home care to how do you get health insurance, to climate change, to are the taxes too high, to the debates as we have this all-party consensus that is building in favor of more protectionism and trying to enrich ourselves by keeping out foreign goods. That these are things that you would think that the House of Representatives should be having a voice on, but laws don't get passed, this stuff happens. And so this you can see, and it gives you an idea. It's important as a clue to all the things that you don't see because they are not happening.
One thing about this, too, is that it does come down to leadership. I mean, James Comer, this was his committee that devolved into this back and forth. Here was how he tried to explain what happened.
I don't know if you've noticed it. I have 2 hearing aids. I'm very deaf. I'm not understanding. Everybody's yelling. I'm doing the best I can. Can we not recognize Ms. Greene and let her get?
We cannot, because of the rules of the committee, Mr. Chair.
I sort of wonder how he didn't hear this piece of it. Watch.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just
You just voted to do
Y'all did it first, so you don't want to talk about it.
voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at
and
yelling.
You don't want me
Calm
to
down.
Be,
Can
no,
you please calm down?
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Megan?
I mean, it's like a circus. And like it's a circus of people are screaming at each other. I mean, I guess Comer couldn't blame his wife because he didn't think of that excuse fast enough to solve this problem. That seems to be what we're blaming people for today. I just don't understand how this is like acceptable behavior from our lawmakers who need to be passing laws. People actually have issues in this country, and we need to have actual laws.
You know, one of the things that's been interesting about voters, we ask about Congress a lot.
Yeah.
And it's funny, they very much want results, but they do not want compromise. And voters in this country seem to have lost the plot that it requires compromise to get results, which is, I think, why you now see people reaching for sort of the strongman authoritarian types, because they have forgotten that actually the
If a black woman started it, she would have the sole responsibility, but because a white woman started it, it's always them, they. Ugh, I hate this world. Yeah. No, for sure. If Jasmine Crockett was the first person to fucking pop off on Marjorie Taylor Greene in that exact same category, in that exact same way, you know they would be like, oh, it's really, really unacceptable the way that she's behaving. So uppity, you know, something like that. Just like fucking racially loaded terminology. Because it's a black woman who responded, they're basically fucking saying both sides. But like I said, I don't personally give a shit. Okay? I don't care. I don't care that they like pop off. I think it's great. Yeah, I mean, there was a woman there was this person who called it ghetto. Like literally. I think I tabbed out of that, but
way this body is supposed to function is by doing the hard work, putting their heads down, reaching a compromise that makes everybody a little bit unhappy and a little bit happy, and ultimately you get something done for the American people. And so people want things done. They don't want them to compromise. They want them to be in opposition like that, and that's why we have all this dysfunction.
Yeah, well, I mean, and to what you were saying, David, too, when celebrity seems to be the goal of coming to Congress, you end up in situations like this.
Well, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is sort of an example of this, because look, Marjorie Taylor Greene has no choice but to be Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's just there's no upper floor of the building there. But Ocasio-Cortez has potential to go in a number of different ways in her career, and that the incentives are pulling her toward the Instagram influencer, the viral moment, the no big bills path.
I will say Ocasio-Cortez is not always like this in committee hearings. I mean, she was jumping in defending someone, and she actually was the one who knew the rules of the committee, was using them to her, and she's usually very prepared for these hearings. But continue.
Okay, so she has a path. I mean, I think what we're also coping with this is a Congress that doesn't have a majority in the House of Representatives, the inhibitions, what might happen under a different political culture is the speaker would put together a working majority, half of his party, a third of the other party, and build a majority from the center out. But that is completely prohibited by the culture of the modern House of Representatives. That's how actually things were often done in the past, especially in the 50s.
Bro, you advocated for the Iraq War. You literally personally added Iran to the axis of evil speech. That was David Frum, right? I don't want to get my fucking white dudes in the Bush administration mixed up. But I'm pretty sure he was literally the guy who personally added Iran and North Korea into the axis of evil speech famously. And is he also Canadian? I thought Brett Stevens was the Canadian one. Was he also the fucking Canadian guy? Oh, we got to shut down. We got to shut it down, dude. Canada not sending their best, as always.
50s and 60s, when the partisanship was a little more blurry, you would have this functioning coalition of the center of moderate Democrat, usually with a Democratic speaker, or in those days, always with a Democratic speaker. Yeah. But putting some of the Democratic members out to the margins, putting many of the Republican members out to the margins. But our political culture doesn't allow that middle-out coalition anymore.
It does not.
Tonight.
All right, we're going to, before we get to Governor Greg Abbott, AOC had the smoke for John Fetterman.